This is extremely important for you to pay attention to. This is called oil supply shock. So I'm going to break down the two big oil supply shocks and the effects on the market and how big the oil supply shock is now that we're experiencing. And I'm going to give you two different scenarios. Then I'm going to share with you how I prepare for these types of things. But you need to understand, Judy Shelton just said it. Study who she is. Wars bring in resets. After World War II, the IMF was created, the Bank of International Settlements created, we became the world's reserve currency, Bretton Woods. If you don't understand history and cycles, you'll be a victim of it every single time. So in 1973, the oil supply shock was 7%, which caused a 52% market drawdown. In 1990, there was another 7% oil supply shock, which was a 21% market drawdown. So what does that tell us? With a 7% oil supply shock, you're going to get about a 20 to a 50% drawdown in the markets. So now fast forward to 2026 and the Straits of Hormuz being shut down, we are currently in between a 15% to a 20% oil supply shock. So the question is, will this cause a massive market drawdown? So these are the two scenarios. The Straits of Hormuz stay shut down. We have a massive oil supply shock. Inflation goes through the roof. The markets start to melt down. The middle class gets squeezed, and we see a big market collapse. Or Straits of Hormuz open up, Kevin Warsh comes in, new Fed chair, lowers interest rates dramatically. They print a shitload of money, which will make the markets go up. But there's one truth in both scenarios. On one side, the middle class gets crushed through inflation. They can't survive anymore. Credit cards are maxed, savings are drained. On the other side, markets skyrocket, the value of your currency goes down, again, crushing the middle class because most of the middle class is not even in the markets. But there's another truth, is that within the next 3 years, I don't know if it's going to be 2 months from now, 6 months from now, or in the next 3 years, you're going to have a reset into a new system. There will be a major market pullback. This is all math. Central banks around the world are stacking record amounts of gold. The Feds just bought back record amounts of their own debt. And we're experiencing the largest oil supply shock we've ever experienced. We have an oil supply shock. The Feds are buying back record amounts of debt. Banks around the world are stacking gold, signaling a detachment from the US dollar dominance. And as Judy Shelton said, war brings in resets. As Ray Dalio says, credit crisis and war bring in resets. And we have two coming at the same time. So how do you navigate through this? Is you understand how inflation works. The US dollar's collapsed 96 to 97% since the Fed was created. We're in a monetary debt crisis around the world. You have stable coins coming in now. You have Bitcoin, a fixed supply asset. You have the largest asset manager in the world is the number one holder in Bitcoin outside of Satoshi. You have the Clarity Act coming through probably this year, which gives banks clear rules of the road to operate in crypto. That's weird. They told you to run from it. Trump, out of billionaires, is a number one holder in Bitcoin. True Social is one of the top 7 Bitcoin treasuries. XXI is the number 3 Bitcoin treasury, which is 21 Capital, which is connected to Cantor, which is Howard Lutnick, the Commerce Secretary. When you start to see the connections and you understand how radical this transformation is, you will understand that we're going to be in a new system after 2030. So pay attention to the oil supply shock. Pay attention to central banks stacking gold. And pay attention to what Kevin Warsh does when he comes in as the head of the Fed. He just drop rates really low and prints a ton of money, devaluing your currency. You better be in assets that beat inflation because inflation is going to come in hot and heavy either now or in the future. We're either going to get tons of inflation now or it's going to be 2029 to 2030. You got to wave through the system, move through the system. What you use as retirement, the elites trade back and forth based on macro microeconomic conditions that I'm teaching you. So pay attention. Warriors, rise, get your shit together. Let's go. Love you guys.